Your tomatoes look perfect. Your peppers are full of promise. And then suddenly, black rot appears on the bottom of the fruit. You didn't underfeed them. You didn't forget to water. And yet, your harvest is being destroyed. This is called blossom end rot. And 90% of gardeners cause it without even realizing it. Today I will show you the real reasons why it happens, the hidden mistakes that trigger it, and how to completely stop it, permanently. If you grow tomatoes or peppers, this might be the most important video you will ever watch. Problem number 1, irregular watering, main cause of blossom end rot. One of the biggest and most underestimated causes of blossom end rot is irregular watering. This is the #1 mistake that silently destroys tomatoes and peppers, even when everything else looks perfect. Many gardeners think blossom end rot is caused only by calcium deficiency, but in reality, in most cases, calcium is already present in the soil. The real problem is that the plant cannot absorb it properly because the water supply is unstable. When you water your plants inconsistently, for example, you let the soil dry out completely and then suddenly flood it with a lot of water, the plant goes through extreme stress. During dry periods, calcium movement inside the plant stops. Then, when a large amount of water suddenly arrives, the plant absorbs water too fast, but calcium still cannot move efficiently to the fruits. This creates a localized calcium deficiency inside the developing tomato or pepper, and that is when blossom end rot appears. Another common mistake is watering only the surface of the soil. The top layer becomes wet, but the deeper root zone remains dry. This forces the roots to stay shallow and weak. When hot weather arrives, these shallow roots cannot supply enough water or nutrients to the plant, which again blocks calcium transport to the fruit. Temperature also makes the situation worse. On hot days, plants transpire much more water through their leaves. If the soil cannot keep up with this increased demand, the fruits become the first victims. They lose calcium first, and the dark, sunken spot appears at the bottom of the tomato or pepper. The solution is simple, but it must be consistent. Always aim for steady soil moisture, not extremes. The soil should never be completely dry, and it should never stay waterlogged. Deep watering is far better than frequent light watering. This encourages deep root growth and stabilizes water and calcium uptake. Mulching is one of the best tools you can use. A layer of straw, grass clippings, or compost helps keep the soil moisture stable, protects against heat stress, and prevents rapid evaporation. With stable moisture, calcium can move normally inside the plant, and blossom end rot becomes far less likely. If you remember only one thing from this section, remember this. Blossom end rot is not a calcium problem first. It is a water stability problem. Fix the watering, and in most cases, the disease disappears on its own. Problem number 2, overwatering. One of the most common reasons tomatoes and peppers develop blossom end rot is actually overwatering. Many gardeners believe that watering more will help the plant grow faster and stronger. But in reality, too much water can be just as damaging as too little. When the soil stays constantly wet, the roots begin to lose oxygen. Roots need air to function properly. If they sit in water for too long, they become stressed, weak, and partially damaged. Once the roots are compromised, the plant can no longer absorb calcium efficiently, even if calcium is present in the soil. This is exactly how blossom end rot begins, not because calcium is missing in the ground, but because the plant cannot transport it to the fruit. Another major problem with overwatering is nutrient imbalance. Excess water washes nutrients deeper into the soil, away from the root zone. This weakens the plant and creates unstable growth. You may notice fast leaf growth, soft stems, and fruits that suddenly start to develop dark, sunken spots at the bottom. Overwatering also causes sudden swings in soil moisture. One day the soil is soaked, the next day it begins to dry. These fluctuations stress the plant and disrupt calcium movement inside the fruit. The result is often blossom end rot appearing almost overnight, even on plants that looked healthy just days before. The solution is not less water, but correct water management. Always allow the top layer of soil to dry slightly before watering again. The soil should be moist, not wet, and never muddy. Deep watering is far better than frequent shallow watering. When you water deeply, you encourage stronger root development and more stable nutrient uptake. Good drainage is also essential. If water cannot escape the soil, overwatering will happen even if you water only occasionally. Raised beds, loose soil, and proper drainage holes in containers will dramatically reduce the risk of blossom end rot. Most importantly, consistency is key. Keep your soil moisture stable, avoid extremes, and your plants will absorb calcium properly. When water is balanced, the roots stay healthy, fruit development becomes stable, and blossom end rot becomes far less likely to appear. Problem number 3. Real calcium deficiency in the soil. Many gardeners believe blossom end rot is always caused by irregular watering or stress, but sometimes the problem is much more direct. The soil simply does not contain enough available calcium. And if calcium is missing at the root level, the plant has nothing to transport to the fruit, no matter how perfect your watering is. Calcium is a structural nutrient. It builds strong cell walls inside the fruit. When calcium is insufficient, the cells at the blossom end of the tomato or pepper collapse. The tissue dies, and that is exactly how blossom end rot starts, as a small water-soaked spot that grows into a black sunken scar. This kind of calcium deficiency is especially common in newly built soils. Raised beds filled with peat or cocoa, sandy soils, and soils that have been heavily cropped for years without proper mineral replenishment. In these cases, the soil simply does not have enough calcium reserves to support fruit development. Another hidden cause is soil pH. Even if calcium is present, the plant cannot absorb it when the pH is too low. Acidic soils lock calcium away chemically. The nutrient is there, but the roots cannot access it. How do you fix this correctly? First, improve the soil calcium reserve. The safest long-term solutions are agricultural gypsum, dolomite lime, or calcium carbonate, applied according to soil type. Gypsum adds calcium without changing pH. Lime adds calcium and raises pH at the same time. Second, combine this with proper biological activity. Calcium uptake depends on healthy root growth and microbial balance. Compacted, lifeless soil cannot deliver calcium efficiently, even when it is present. And third, understand this clearly. Spraying calcium on the leaves does not fix a true soil deficiency. Foliar sprays may reduce symptoms temporarily, but they do not rebuild the soil calcium pool. Without correcting the root zone, blossom end rot will return again and again. When calcium is truly restored in the soil and combined with stable moisture, blossom end rot disappears completely, and the fruits develop thick, healthy, resistant skin that does not collapse. Problem number 4. Heat shock. Even if you water correctly and your soil contains enough calcium, blossom end rot can still appear suddenly during periods of extreme heat. This happens because high temperatures dramatically increase water loss through the leaves. When the plant transpires too fast, calcium can no longer move properly from the roots to the fruits. Calcium transport depends entirely on steady water movement inside the plant. If that movement becomes irregular due to heat stress, calcium simply never reaches the developing fruit and the tissue collapses. This is why blossom end rot often appears right after heat waves. The plant may look healthy, the leaves may stay green, but the fruits begin to rot from the bottom. The damage happens internally before you even see it. Another hidden problem is sudden cooling after extreme heat. This creates shock inside the plant's vascular system, again interrupting calcium transport. The result is the same: weak fruit tissue and rot. How to fix this? During heat waves, never allow the soil to dry out completely. Water earlier in the morning or in the evening when evaporation is lower. Add organic mulch around the base of the plants to stabilize soil temperature and moisture. If possible, provide light shade during peak summer temperatures. The goal is not more water, the goal is stable water. Blossom end rot is not a disease. It is a stress reaction. Heat plus water instability is often the final trigger that turns small hidden problems into visible damage. If your tomatoes or peppers are suffering from blossom end rot, now you know the truth. It is not a disease, and it is not caused by pests. It is almost always the result of water stress, unstable moisture, and blocked calcium uptake. Fix your watering first, protect your plants from extreme heat, and only then think about calcium in the soil. If this video helped you understand what is really happening to your plants, like the video, subscribe for more real, practical growing advice, and share this with someone who is struggling with the same problem. Your harvest does not have to fail.